Today, we're going to uncover a powerful Pandas method that solves a problem you may not even realize that you have, the transform method. Hello, everybody. My name is Zane Goodman with Pragmatic Works, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing a method inside of the Pandas library called transform. Now, this is a very powerful and useful method in certain situations, and I wanted to make a video about it because it is true that many of us that are working with Python and Pandas are going to be performing all type of group functions and aggregation functions, but the transform method can kind of be lost if you're not aware of it and what it is used for, because it can really be of help to you in specific situations. When we normally are aggregating data according to some group, right? Such as we have a customer, John, and John wants to purchase or does purchase 10 items in the same day. Well, that is going to show with 10 records in a table. If we then said that we wanted to sum all of John's purchases for the day, well, that would take his 10 rows and collapse it into one row while providing us the total sum of all 10 of his purchases. This is a very common operation and there's nothing wrong with it. However, there are certain circumstances where we want to see John's total amount that he spent with us, but we don't want it to collapse the rows into just one. We want it to keep those 10 rows showing us every single purchase while also telling us the total sum of his purchases. And so in this video, we're going to be discussing that. If you look over into the screen that I am sharing here, I'm inside of a Jupyter notebook. Now, as of right now, I'm using a tool called Jupyter Lite. This is a very, very helpful tool if you just want to jump in, start working with Python, working with Pandas, especially in a demo setting like this. If you would like to open this up in your browser, it's very easy. Just go to jupyter.org, select try, scroll down to Jupyter Lab and open it up. And you'll be able to create a notebook very quickly by selecting the new button and selecting Python right here under notebook. You click that and you'll be able to follow right along with me. Back into this notebook here, we are going to be just jumping into a demo, but I want to let you know if you want to use Jupyter Lite here to learn a little bit more than just the transform method, check out July's Learn with the Nerds, where you get to hang out with me and we use this software here so that you can follow along and get some basic work with Pandas. That being said, the transform method, why exactly is it important? Well, using that same example that I just gave you about John is the reason. There's nothing wrong with that example with John, but there are times when we do want to aggregate our data according to some group, but we do not want those groups to be collapsed into a single row. That being said, the first thing I'm going to do is execute the first code cell, which is importing Pandas. So I'm going to select Shift Enter here, and you can see our data set right below. So this is going to be tracking restaurant data. Specifically, this is going to be what we use to analyze our servers' performance according to tips that they've been given by our customers. So we can see that we have order ID, we have the server, the order total, and the tip amount. This is all inside of a Python dictionary called data. Then we use the Pandas function DataFrame to load this data into exactly that, a data frame. So if we look right down below, we are going to start by adding a new column called tip%. And we're going to set this equal to a new expression. And this expression is going to divide tip amount by order total, multiply that by 100 so that we can get the tip% for each one of the transactions that we have coming through from the restaurant. I'm going to select Shift Enter here, and then I'm going to select Shift Enter again so that we can take a look at this data frame. So as you can see, in normal data frame fashion, we have all of our columns, and then we have now also created a new column that is called tip%. And this is going to give us exactly that, the percent of the tip. So the tip amount was $8, the order total was $45.50. So the percentage of that is going to be 17.6-ish. So my next step is that I am going to look for the average tip% for each one of my servers. An easy way to do this is to use the .ag function. I'm going to create a new data frame, and I'm going to call the original data frame. And I'm going to say, all right, we're going to group by server. And then for each of our server groups, I'm going to use the .ag function to create a new column called average tip percent. Then I'll pass in tip percent as the column that I'll use in the aggregation, and then mean as the function I'll use for the aggregation. I'll hit Shift Enter here and then return average tips. And this may be exactly what we want. I see two columns, server and average tip percent. I can see I've got Jinx, who has a average tip percent of 15, Nova for 16, Zelda for 16 as well. However, what if I wanted to take the value of this data frame here, so the average tip percent for each one of my servers, and I just wanted to add it back to the original data frame? Well, obviously the size of these two are much different, of course, so it's not going to be as easy as just slapping average tips right onto the end of the original data frame. We're going to run into major issues there, of course. So one of the options that I have is to merge them together. I'm going to create a new data frame called merge data frame, and I'm going to set this equal to dataframe.merge. So my left data frame in this merge statement will be the original, and then average tips will be my right data frame or table. So I'm going to merge these two together on server, the name of the server, and it's going to be a left join. Then, of course, I'll execute merge data frame so we can see the result. And this is what I would like to get to by the end of the video, but there's, of course, more to discuss. Now, there's nothing, again, that just says this is absolutely terrible. However, there are definitely issues with this statement. For example, we are creating another data frame. We already created average tips. Now we're creating merge data frame. And again, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you need to do that. However, maybe there's another solution. An even bigger problem, really the biggest problem, is that we are merging on the server column, which would be a natural key. It's just the name of our servers. It's not an ID. And so that means that we need to make sure, if we were to do something like this, that the names of our servers are loaded into the table properly. It's a string, so we have to make sure that we have capitalization logged correctly. We need to take account for special characters and spaces. There's a lot more that goes into that whenever you're merging on a natural key, in this case, the name of our server. Even though this returns what we do want, which is going to be our average tip percent shown for each row that the server shows up. To do this a better way and faster is to use the transform method. So if we scroll down, I'm creating a new column, average tip percent, on the original data frame. So remember, average tip percent currently only exists on merged data frame, not on the original. So what if I wanted to just add it to the original? Well, I could do this. So I call average tip percent and I set this equal to something we've already seen, which is dataframe.group by server. That way I'm grouping up all of my servers. Then in square brackets, I'm going to pass in tip percent, which is going to be the column that's aggregated. And then finally, I pass in .transform and then give it mean as the aggregation function to use. Finally, I call dataframe. Now, we get the exact same result here as we do with merge dataframe, but we did it very quickly. If I scroll up, this isn't too much code, nothing to cause problems, but it is still more. So I have an average tips data frame. That's what I'm creating. I execute average tips just to take a look at it. And then finally, I merge the two data frames together and I return that. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should always strive to write as little code as possible to make sure that you achieve your goal, right? Because our goal here when writing code is that it is readable and understandable. And when it's too little, then that can be harder to understand or read what's going on. But in this case, we are good to go because even though we achieved our goal using this method here, we can do it very clearly in a very readable and understandable way. We can accomplish this task in just this line of code. And here's why we can. Remember back to that example with John, right? We've got 10 records because John purchased 10 items that day. We sum it up according to the group of our customer, and John now only shows in one row. That's what happened here with average tips. And that's why we had to merge it back in the example below. Average tip just shows each one of our servers one time, even though they show up in the original data frame more than one time. And of course, it gives us the average tip percent for that person. Well, down here, what transform is going to do is it's going to apply the aggregation to the group, but it will not collapse the group, meaning we're going to go row by row. We're going to see Zelda. Well, Zelda is a group. So the transform method is going to grab every instance of Zelda here. It's going to grab the average or calculate the average tip percent for Zelda, and it's going to apply that in the new column. Then we'll go down to Nova and do the same thing and grab Nova's average tip percent. Then we see Zelda once more in the original data frame, and instead of collapsing that, we keep it exactly as it is, and we simply apply the exact same number for Zelda's average tip percent. And you can continue on with this all the way down for the rest of the data frame. So this is a very, very helpful tool that you can use when you're trying to aggregate, you're trying to group, of course, but you don't want your data frame to be collapsed. You want to add a new column, and that column may need, like in this case, to be grouped and aggregated. To explain this a bit further, we have a very helpful method in Pandas called shape, and shape will tell us how many rows and columns that we have inside of a data frame. So let's take a look at average tips. Remember, average tips, we only have 3 columns there for each of our servers. If I execute this, I get 3 and 2. That means that I have 3 rows and 2 columns. If I scroll up, you can see that here, 3 rows, 2 columns. All right, keep that in the back of your mind. Now, because I've already changed by adding a new column to the original data frame, I'm going to recreate it here. So hit Shift Enter. And then I'm going to come down to dataframe.shape. Let's go ahead and pop this up as well. Remember, you have quick access toolbar here in your code cells. They're very helpful. So I'm going to look at dataframe.shape. I'm going to select Shift Enter here, and I can see the shape of my original data frame before any changes have been made to it, other than what we see right here, is 8 and 5. So I'll add another column down here. Oops. I will add another cell down here just to show you my shape of my data frame. I have 8 rows, and I have 5 columns. Finally, I'm grabbing the logic that's used with the transform method, and I'm going to grab .shape. And you can see the result that I get back is 8. Now, I'm not going to get 8, 5 here because remember, we're adding a new column in, and a new column is a Pandas series. So it's not going to have multiple columns here. We would run into an error if we were to try to do something like that outside of actually merging or joining data frames together. We are simply adding in a new column to an existing data frame. And that means that I'm going to have 8 rows. This is to showcase to you that the reason that we would have an issue to begin with is I cannot take 3 rows here from average tips and add it to a data frame that has 8 rows. I cannot do that without merging those two together on some key. And we've already discussed the problems in our example with doing it that way. So we need the transform method to come and save the day so that we can keep the state of the original data frame, or rather keep the same amount of rows while still achieving that new calculated column, which is going to provide to us exactly this. If I remove shape, and then I'm there going to get my result here, all of my average tip percents. And this, of course, is going to be mapped to my data frame. You can see in the series, I have an index here. In the data frame, I have an index here, and they are both the same. And so because of that, I'm able to match these up perfectly using this transform statement right here. Now, if you all want to learn more about Python and Pandas, take my class on our on-demand learning platform called Python for Data Analysis. It's a lot of fun, and it'll give you a great head start into working with these tools. Please do let me know down in the comments what other functions inside of Pandas or Python cause you confusion or that you just want to learn more about. I'll be in the comments section answering your questions. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.